This video is for DBG 5.45. Here we go. So once again, try and mark it up on your own before you start. Let's begin. So anytime you see quanto ... tanto, that means by how much ... by so much. And this whole sentence is going to be a little awkward, at least up to the semicolon, but I think you'll get the basic gist. So here we have erat, of course, verb, in dies, prep phrase. Gravior, asperior are comparative adjectives, ultimately describing our subject, which is oppugnatio. Those words maxime quod mean especially because, so there's some sort of a clause that I suppose we could mark here, moving to here. Inside the clause, it's kind of strange because, well, we really have, well, you know what? I take that back. I'm not going to end the clause there. I'm going to actually end it at per venerat. That's going to be the main verb of the clause. We have a prepositional phrase, ablative absolute. Magna parte confecta. So little ablabs there. Res, I see, looks like a subject. Ad paucitatem would be a prep phrase. And then in the by so much portion, we seem to have literae and nuntii as subjects. Crebriores, another comparative adjective. It's describing literae. Ad caesarem, prep phrase. Mittebantur, main verb. It's tempting to say that this is a clause, but it's one of those relative pronouns starting a new sentence, which we don't have to translate as, of whom. We could probably say of these. And pars, is going to be our subject. We have a prep phrase, in conspectu. Another one, cum cruciatu, and necabatur would be our main verb. So here we go. It's a little awkward, but just go with me. By how much the attack was heavier and more violent in these days, or in the days, and because with a great part of the soldiers, meaning the Roman soldiers, having been worn out, exhausted, weakened by wounds, the situation had come to, or had arrived to, the fewness of defenses, meaning the Romans were being beaten down. A lot of their soldiers were wounded, and were getting kind of critically desperate here in terms of being able to defend the camp. So by how much the attack was getting more violent, and all that was happening, by so much more frequent letters and messengers were being sent to Caesar. Part of these, meaning part of the messengers, deprehensa, having been seized or captured, were killed with torture in sight of our soldiers. Okay, moving on. In the next bit, we have, in this sentence, erat, main verb, and then unus, nervius, vertigo, look to be most likely predicate nominatives here, since our verb starts off the sentence. And then natus, most likely describing where to go. Loco and honesto describing loco, both ablative. We have a clause here, qui, most likely going all the way to the end of the sentence. Inside the clause, two main verbs, praestiterat and perfugerat. We have a prep phrase, a prima obsidione, and then ad ciceronem. Direct object in fidem here, and suam is going with fidem. So there was among them one Nervian, Vertico by name, born from a prestigious rank, who, from the first blockade, had fled to Cicero and had shown his trust or his loyalty to him. So this guy, when the Neruians first attacked, this guy Huertico, for whatever reason, defected over to the Roman side, fled into the Roman camp, and sort of got in Cicero's good graces. Now, in the next sentence, hic, this guy, that's going to be our subject, and we have persuadet, main verb. If you're looking for a direct object in the accusative case, remember that persuadeo is one of those special verbs that takes a dative direct object. I see a dative here with servo, so that's technically going to be our direct object. And then we have some sort of ut clause, and inside that we have ad Caesarem, prep phrase, literas, direct object, main verb of the clause, deferat. So let's piece it all together. This guy, meaning Huertico, persuades a slave with the hope of freedom and with great rewards to carry letters to Caesar. All right. Seems pretty straightforward. Next sentence. Ille looks like a subject to me. In Iaculo, it's going to be a prep phrase. Has, going with illegatas. Effert, main verb. And then Gallus, inter Gallos, that seems an interesting phrase. And then versatus, probably going with Gallus here. Sine ulla suspicione is a prep phrase. Ad Caesarem is as well. And then pervenet, main verb. Okay. So, that guy, meaning not Huertico, but Huertico's slave, that guy carries these, meaning the letters, illegatas, having been attached on a spear. And so basically the letters were sort of, I don't know, wrapped around the spear, maybe tied with twine or something. No one's 100% sure what that means. But it's, in other words, it's somehow hidden in the spear. And versatus can have as a special meaning to conduct oneself if it's in the passive voice. So having conducted himself as a Gaul among Gauls without any suspicion, he arrives at Caesar. And then last, from him, and then de periculis, and then we've got cognoscitur. From him, it is found out concerning the dangers of Cicero and of the legion. So he's able to pass, the slave is able to pass through without any suspicion, gets to Caesar, and finally tells Caesar, finally figures out what's been going on, not just probably with, actually just with Cicero. He still doesn't actually know technically about Sabinus and what happened to him, but he will soon. Okay, thank you.